everyone, welcome back to See It or Skip It. In this episode, we are going to be reviewing Jurassic World. Jurassic World is directed by Colin Trevorrow and it stars Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Simpkins.
Jurassic World takes place 22 years after the events of Jurassic Park, and the park is fully up and running. To increase interest in the park, the corporation begins to do genetically altered dinosaurs. But when one of these dinosaurs gets out, it causes havoc and chaos for the entire park. Again. So, what is that? So, what were your expectations going into this? Seeing the trailers, getting the hype? There was a lot of hype behind this movie.
There was a lot of hype in the movie. When I first saw the trailer, and I'll use the example of the Super Bowl spot because it was probably the best one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Actually, up until then, I was just kind of like, oh god, it's going to be not good. It wasn't going to be like Jurassic Park 3 bad, but I didn't really have any high expectations until I saw the Super Bowl spot. Then I got excited and I went, I think I'm going to see this opening weekend.
And this looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I had the same kind of experience. I was like, oh, this is going to be pretty good. It's probably not going to beat the first one because there's so much nostalgia with the first one.
You can't beat the first one. So Chris Pratt is the leading man in this film. How did you feel about his performance?
Chris Pratt completely delivered in this movie. I was a little afraid that he was going to be a little too Star-Lord-y or a little too much of a goofball, but he really just took that character and ran with it. Really made it so he was like the most interesting part of that movie. And the two characters that I liked the most was Chris Pratt's character and Bryce Dallas Howard's character. Anytime they kind of got away from those characters, I kind of was getting a little bored, and I really wanted for them to just get back to those characters, for them to be working with the dinosaurs or chasing the dinosaurs, and everything else kind of just fell to the wayside. They were the ones that you just wanted to watch more and more, even though I probably could have done a little bit less with their love interest.
I agree. I felt that I was a little afraid, just like you, with Chris Pratt because we kind of know him as the funny guy. But he delivered a lot of these lines really, really well. He totally made training dinosaurs and being the dinosaur whisperer totally believable. I really enjoyed him, and with the love interest with Bryce Dallas Howard's character, it wasn't necessary. I felt that it kind of halted the movie and it pulled me out of the really great moments that they were having. It pulled me out of the insanity and the chaos that was happening around them, and then you insert this like moment of tenderness, and it just really didn't go with the film.
Even though I loved that one scene where they released the clip a long time ago.
Okay, so it's not
where they
spoiler.
when they first come and talk to each other about they want you to review the cage of the new Indominus Rex. And you know, they have to hunt, they have to eat, they have to honestly, I liked that banter. And if they would have kept that instead of this kind of swooning afterwards, I think I would have liked the love interest a lot more.
I wish they introduced Chris Pratt a little bit sooner because they focused on the kids, and I get that the kids transition from the outside world into the park to how the park runs and blah, blah, blah. But as an ensemble, the two kids and Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt worked well together. I liked their chemistry, and it moved the movie along really, really well. But when they were apart, it stalled a little bit, especially when it wasn't focused on the adults.
Yeah, true. I didn't care for the relationship between Bryce Dallas Howard and the kids, and the relationship between the two brothers, and the relationship between them and their parents, and what's going on with. Honestly, I wanted to see more dinosaurs. I wanted their theories on the science of the dinosaurs, and that was what I liked most about Chris Pratt's character, was when he started to really get into his velociraptor. So I know one of the things that was great about the first movie was you sat there and went, oh my god, that's a real dinosaur. How did you feel about them using CGI and some of the puppetry in this movie?
I think that CGI has come a really long way since the very first Jurassic Park, and with now the technology, we're able to utilize it in a better way, and I also feel that it holds the movies back because we do rely on that CGI, and it's just like, well, let's just have the actors react to a green screen or to a tennis ball or to somebody marking the place of a dinosaur, and it isn't as raw and real as it used to be. And I felt that you could really see that it was CGI.
Yeah.
At certain parts, and I really really wish that utilized, maybe especially with the raptors, the puppets that they had originally. I mean, if they did it then, can you imagine how amazing it would have been now with the technology they have now to do puppetry?
You know what? I thought that same way. It's like I wanted to see a little bit more better puppetry, but there were some moments in the first Jurassic Park where they had such amazing puppetry, and you could see the fear in the actors' eyes because they looked at them and went, "Oh my God, that's a real dinosaur." Yeah. There were some moments where the velociraptors' heads were like in a muzzle, and you could tell it was CGI.
Was that like, CGI? That wasn't a practical effect?
I don't think so.
That's a bummer.
I think it was mainly CGI. Also, from what I hear, a lot of the practical effect puppetries are now closing down their shops. Oh. Some of the masters at this art are now no longer doing it because they're like, well, we don't get enough work anymore.
Bring it back, J.J. Abrams, with your practical effects. Bring it back with Star Wars. I think in the first Jurassic Park movie, the kitchen scene, the infamous kitchen scene, was the best. And I don't know if this is... No, you know what? I'm not even going to go there. I was going to say, because I was younger, it scared me. But now, as an adult, and when I watch it, it still makes me want to grab that pillow or that blanket a little bit tighter and kind of do this. And I felt it. The fear on the screen transferred into how I was feeling as a viewer for the movies. This movie, while it had its intensities because of the CGI, there was kind of a break. There was that reality versus CGI.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel as nervous as I did even when they were being chased after a dinosaur. I should feel nervous, and I do a little bit, but I didn't get scared.
So overall, what are your final thoughts? If someone was coming up to me and came up to you and said, "What do you think of this movie? Do you think it's really worth me going out and seeing it? Because it's not as good as the first one."
I think we're all gonna have to eventually learn how to deal with these sequels and the franchise not being as great as the first. I had a lot of fun watching this film. I've been waiting for this film. It's really, really nice to see these large dinosaurs roaming the silver screens again, and no one can do it quite like Jurassic Park. So I'm happy that it was there, and I do urge you to go and see it. Have fun with it. Jurassic Park. Do you need to see the other movies prior to seeing this one? Probably not, but do yourself a favor if you haven't seen the original Jurassic Park. Go and rent it. It may be on Netflix. I don't know. Go see it. You will not be disappointed. We saw it in IMAX 3D. Probably not necessary, but if you have an AMC Prime near you, or an ArcLight, or something with like Dolby Sound, it'll be worth it.
And part of the fun of this movie was just going back to the park.
Yeah.
And being able to see what it was trying to be in the very first movie. Because you had all this anticipation of what it was going to become. And you had this dream of John Hammond, I think was the doctor's name. And just seeing it come to life. And seeing all these people constantly in this world, it made it a little bit more tangible. And you just wanted to be in that world again. And then added in characters like Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard made it richer. And there were some other characters in there that were really fun. The main villain that they had in there, who's actually Kingpin in Daredevil.
Vincent D'Onofrio?
Yes. He actually did a really good job.
He lost weight. He just didn't have the... I mean, he had hair in it too, so... that made a big difference.
And then the scientist and some of the technicians.
Yeah.
Were really fun characters.
Yeah.
Definitely go see. This is a good popcorn flick. Really fun to go see dinosaurs again.
And they also brought back the nostalgia. There's a couple of scenes, we won't spoil for you, but it was very closely resembles the original film. And also props and various items from the first movie showed up, which is a nice little Easter egg if you've seen the first movie.
Okay. Yeah. So
alright, you guys, that's all the time we have for today in this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, click that thumbs up button and also the subscribe button. Go ahead and share it if you want to share some movie discussions, I don't know, with your friends. Dustin, where can they find you on social media? You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SwingKid1981 and on Facebook at Dustin Zaney. And you can find me also on Twitter and Instagram at Wendy Lee Zaney. I hope you guys like this review, and we'll see you again soon.